Hey, how's it going? Drew again. This video is about Gangstalking, remote neural monitoring, voice to skull. This video specifically is going to be more about the actual remote neural monitoring. From my experience, there's two main parts of this program. Again, this is just my experience and what's happening to me. I'm sure there's other people that it's happened to differently, but there's two parts of the program. They use the voice to skull remote neural monitoring for the voices and the dreams, simulate stuff like that, thought control, and then there's the physical gang stalking. Sometimes they combine them both, which is horrible. So the remote neural monitoring is stuff that I noticed in 2014 first. I first noticed it when I was living in my dad's apartment. I thought it was the person upstairs. It was all derogatory statements, and then it was extremely threatening. It was, "We're going to kill you. We're going to come in there and nail you to the bed and sacrifice you." It's what they'll do is they will, if a person is insecure about something, let's say I'm insecure about my weight or my penis size or something like that. I don't mean to be inappropriate here, but this is the kind of stuff, just to get a picture, that paint you a picture. This is the kind of stuff they'll target in on. So they'll be like, "Hey, you are fat. You're a piece of shit. You're never going to amount to nothing. You always were a piece of shit. If you're insecure about your employment, that's another thing. They'll do anything. They'll do anything. Like if you think you look ugly, if you have too much acne, just if you have some missing teeth, they'll do anything to get an emotional reaction out of you. So I first started noticing this in 2014. Then it kind of went away for a while. And then episodes, like I told you in previous videos, I've struggled with alcohol and then drugs from time to time. They'll wait for those, episodes or with me to do the V2K attacks or whatever you want to call them, episodes, attacks. But then they would go away. But I've noticed in the last year, it's became 24/7. When I wake up in the middle of the night to take a piss, they immediately start in. It's at work. It's all day long. And I've noticed a lot of other TIs that have said to me, and I'm just going to take their word on it because there are a lot of people that I think are perps, especially on these social media websites, that it's in the last year or year and a half it started happening. And this is just completely a theory, and this isn't even necessarily my theory, but what's happened in the last year? Let's see. A lot of people have taken vaccines. There's 5G towers. I'm not saying I'm not even saying that that's the reason that it's ramped up. I'm just saying you have to think about that. Why are so many people in the last year complaining about more V2K attacks, like constant 24/7 V2K? I don't know. It's just a thought. I'm not, I don't want to dive too deep on that. And I'm not even saying that's what I think. It's just a theory and it's something to think about. Anyways, so the last year, it's really ramped up 24/7. And again, I want to say it's 24/7. So I want to kind of explain my thoughts on it. And again, if this is not happening to you, this is going to sound completely insane. So again, it's all derogatory and it's 24/7. Oh, before I begin, there's a recent podcast, the Concrete podcast. I think it's on Spotify. They've recently got Robert Duncan on there with another guy who explains this detail. And I just say that too. Robert Duncan. There's a guy named Richard Lighthouse. And there's also Dr. John Hall. There's a bunch of other people. There's a bunch of stuff on Gangstalking Awareness channel on YouTube that you can learn about this. But anyways, if you want to know more about the science part, Dr. Robert Duncan is a good person to watch his videos. But my experiences and just my observation of this and my analysis of this, of somebody that's just been happening to for years, is that for some reason they have technology, and I think it's done via satellite, where they can scan your eye or your brain. Robert Duncan kind of explains it like your thumb has a print, your finger has a print, well, your brain has a specific print. And so they can scan your brain, and then from there they can transmit or they can pipe voices into your head somehow. So, um, and so the experiences I'll have is I'll wake up in the morning and it'll immediately start. And you could tell that these people, this is definitely for years, it's been premeditated because they know how to get under your skin. They've done research on you and they know what you're insecure about, and they'll immediately start. Oh, I'll take a piss, and they'll say, "Oh, look at that little thing," or they'll you're fat, or I have insecurities about my employment stability, and so that's something they'll harp on. You can't even keep a job. You can't even keep a job. Or they'll call me a tweaker because I've done methamphetamine before, which is far from the truth. They will they'll call me, it's because you're a tweaker. It's because you're a tweaker. And then recently they've done the pedophile thing, which is not. I've never done anything like that. I don't have any thoughts of doing anything like that. They'll call me a pedophile, and I work in a gym right now. I'm a man, and so sometimes you can't help. I mean, I'm a man. I mean, I'm not over there groping people, but I mean, sometimes you can't help but look at a woman or whatever. I'm not gawking or anything, but the right when you do that, they'll say pedophile, you're a pedophile, you're a pedophile, you're a weirdo, and they'll just continue all day long. Luckily, I'm a strong-minded person. And I've learned to kind of block it out. I wear like earbuds all day, and I'll listen to stuff I'm interested in, music. Sometimes there's specific radio frequency jammer things, high frequency or low. I have no idea. There's things that you can listen to, like binary beats, that are quote unquote help. Honestly, they haven't really helped me a ton, except temporarily. So I'll do those. And so something else they'll do is they'll do like the good cop, bad cop thing. They try to simulate that there's 2 or 3 or 4 different people that are doing it. Like they're in a control center and there's 3 or 4 people that are on my case. And there's like one woman, one black guy, another guy, and like they're all talking to me or something, which I know is completely not going on. What's going on is it's you have one handler that's controlling, or I don't know, I'm calling it a handler. They probably don't call themselves that, but that's controlling probably multiple cases, and then they're using AI because if you think of the thousands and thousands of people this is happening to, they're not going to pay somebody $70,000 a year, or 80 or 90 or whatever they're paying them. They're not going to pay 4 people to sit in a room and just stay up all night and talk to you. That's not even that's not metaphysically possible. I mean, they'd have to have 1 million people in there doing that. They have to use some type of software, and so that's just what they're doing with me. Other people, I've heard them, like people like Voice Murphy, they'll come in like, hey, this is your family, or this is your dead father, or with me they used to try to use the voice of like past friends I've had in life. They've told me that they were like criminal organizations. They've told me that they were the Freemasons. They've told me that they're the mafia. They've told me all kinds of shit. They told me like that there are people that used to work with me. This is all a lie. And I just want to stress this out. You cannot believe anything you are hearing. Do not believe anything you are hearing, because that's where they'll get you. If you actually start believing like, what they've told me is we'll let you out of the program if you do this. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to play off your emotions and think that. They're just fucking with you. whoever's using this software on you is is completely fucking with you. Do not believe anything, absolutely anything they're saying, because their whole goal is to get a reaction out of you. And so here's some experiences I'm about to say that leads me to believe that it's AI. I'll do these kind of experiments where I'll think of certain things in my head and I'll jump from thought to thought. This is something I've learned to do because whatever I'm thinking about, they will kind of repeat and duplicate. And so I'll jump from thought to thought. Like I'll think of just absurd stuff like a basket of corn and a Bible. And then I'll jump from like chess theory stuff and everything I'm jumping around to, it'll, and then I'll catch it sometimes to where the voice will, and then it'll cut off and it'll say, stop fucking with me. Stop fucking with me. And so there's other people that have described this too. There's a guy named Charles Two, or not Charles Two, but Brian Two, that kind of explains this, some of his videos. I forgot what he calls it, like thought jumping or whatever. And I've done experiments where I'll start, because like say if I'm irritated or something, like say at my roommate, they'll start playing on that. Like my roommate's playing too loud music, too much. And I have a thought like, God damn, that's rude. I'll have a thought like, man, that's so rude that my roommate's doing this. They'll meet, they're seizing on that. At the second you're irritated, bam, they jump in and they start playing on your emotions. How dare you? How dare you talk shit on your roommate? You have no room to talk. That's something they'll do. You have no room to talk. Because this is their opportunity to get an emotional charge out of you. And so I'll do experiments where I'll think that on purpose. I'm like, God, I fucking hate my fucking this guy I work with. And just to see if they'll jump in. And sure enough, they'll jump in. How dare you? How dare you? You're a fucking dumb tweaker. You're a fucking this, that. They'll say that you're a horrible son. And this is their time, their opportunity to jump in. So I'm going to turn this video off because it's running a little too long. So I will come back on the next video.